The last thing I wanted to do is film this video. I've been working the entire fucking day, as you should as a man. I haven't fucking anything. I haven't gone to the gym. I'm tired, okay? I'm fucking bored, if you will. Here's the problem, though. I want a McLaren, specifically a McLaren 765 LT Spider. It's sitting right here on this monitor, which you cannot see. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that McLaren cares how I feel? Do you think that McLaren cares how I feel right now in this moment? Do you think that McLaren cares about my circumstances? No, as a matter of fact, look at this. Here's the fucking McLaren right here. Okay? Because I want it, and I will get it one day. Whether that's today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, in 10 years, I don't know when, I will fucking get it. Why? Because I'm delusional enough to believe that. Anyways, okay, the point is that McLaren does not give a fuck about my circumstances. It doesn't give a fuck about me. It doesn't give a fuck about how I feel, what I do, etc. All it knows is if I don't do the work, I'm not going to get the McLaren. And so whatever that fucking goal is in your mind that you want to achieve, okay, just remind yourself that it does not care about how you feel. It does not care about your circumstances, your feelings, your thoughts. It doesn't care. All it cares is about, did you do the work? Because if you did the work, you're going to get the thing. If you didn't do the work, you're not going to get the thing. Simple. Okay? So here's the deal. Not everybody can win. Not everybody is cut out for this game. I talk to a lot of people every single day, and some people just aren't meant for entrepreneurship. They're not cut out for it. Simply, they're not cut out for it. It's really that simple. Okay? And I talk to so many people so often, and I think there's a very common thing, which is that people have a problem doing the work. Now, fundamentally, business is just you solving problems, and if you can't do the work, that's a problem to solve. And in business, if you can't solve problems, you're going to go broke. The same way that if you have a problem of not taking action, a week later you still can't take action, you're not a good business owner. As a matter of fact, I'd argue you're not cut out for this because you can't solve problems. And being an entrepreneur, being a business owner fundamentally means that you solve problems every single day. You solve problems for your customers. When problems come up in your business, which they do often, you solve them because you are the owner, you are the entrepreneur, you are the head of your company. Okay? And so you must solve those problems. And so if right now you can't even take action, I don't understand how you're ever going to be a business owner. I don't understand how you're ever going to be an entrepreneur. Because you can't even fucking take the action. You can't even fix the first problem in your business, which is fundamentally the easiest one to solve because it only relies on you. Fundamentally speaking, you doing the inputs, you taking action is actually the easiest problem that you will ever solve because it is the only, and I mean the only problem that relies solely on you and only you. Every other problem out there in business, like prospects not showing, prospects saying no, customers being upset, relies on you to some extent, but not entirely. There's other variables that play a factor. Whereas doing action, taking steps forward, doing the inputs, only relies on you, nobody else. Therefore, if you can't solve that, how the fuck are you going to solve other problems that aren't just reliant on you, but also other people? How? If you can't even solve a problem that only relies on you, how the fuck can you solve other problems that rely on other people and other things and you combined? How? Genuinely how? Ask yourself that question. Because if you can't even solve the first initial problem, then what the fuck are you doing in entrepreneurship? Seriously, what are you doing? My friend, there's winners and losers for a reason. Somebody's got to make my fucking pizza when I order. Somebody's going to drive me to the airport when I call for it. Somebody's got to do those things. Not everybody can win. Some can win, and most lose. That's why it's called the 1%. And the thing is, everybody wants to be in the 1%. Everybody, right? I want to be the 1%. But nobody wants to do the things to get into the 1%. Right? Nobody wants to do that. If you want what most don't have, you got to do what most don't do. And so if you want what the 1% have, you got to do what the 1% do. And tell you what, the 1% isn't fucking partying every weekend. The 1% isn't scrolling on TikTok or YouTube every single fucking day. The 1% doesn't wake up at fucking noon and roll out of bed 3 hours later after watching TikTok for the last couple hours. The 1% doesn't jerk off to OnlyFans models every single fucking day. As a matter of fact, if you wrote down a list of all the character traits of what the 1% is, and then reference your character traits with those character traits, you'll see why you're not in the 1%. It's that simple. Write down what a top 1% man looks like. Write down what you look like, and be honest. And look at the differences. Look at the discrepancies between the two, and you'll realize why you're not there, because you aren't that guy. And the thing is, in order for you to become that guy, you have to become the person internally first. There's this common this saying of have, do, be. right? Once I have the Ferrari, I will do the things a rich person does, and I will become successful, right? Or for example, that's like a fat person saying, once I have a fit body, then I'll go to the gym, and then I'll become, a fit person. But that's not how it works. Right? We can't say, like, this even applies for dating, right? If you want to become the guy, if you want to become him, if you want to become, let's say, the top G. Well, how do you become the top G? And most people are like, once I get a Lamborghini and a Ferrari and have big muscles, then I'll become the top G. But that's not actually how it works. Because in order to get those things, you have to become the top G to get them. Right? You don't see a random geek with all those things. No. The top G gets those things. So the point is that you have to become the person before. And how do you do that? Well, instead of saying have, do, be, once I have these things, I'll do these things and become that person, it's be, do, have. Become the person, do the things, have the success. So for example, in the top G example, instead of saying, once I have this idea, I'll do this and I'll become this, say, I'm the top G. I am the fucking top G. Wake up with undeniable conviction that you are the top G. And if you tell that to yourself, you will start doing the things that top G does. You're going to start hitting the gym every fucking day, eating good, working hard 24 hours because you identify as the top G, therefore you have to do the things that top G does. And guess what happens? Is after you do that long enough, people will view you as the top G. And when people view you as the top G, what do you become? You become the top G. And also when you do those things, you then get the results, the fruits of labor of doing what top G does. You're going to get a nice body. You're eventually going to get a Ferrari. You're going to have a big business. You're going to have all the beautiful girls. And guess what? You are now the top G. But that's because you made that mindset, that identity shift of becoming the person first. Which is the thing most people miss out on, is they forget to become the person first. As a matter of fact, most people are not the person, which is why they don't make the money. If you were somebody that was capable of making 10K, 20K, 30K per month, you would have already made it. The reason why you haven't made it is because you haven't become the person. If you look in the mirror and genuinely ask yourself whatever your goal is, let's say it's 100K a month, genuinely look in the mirror and ask myself, am I somebody who's capable of making 100K a month? Genuinely ask yourself that question. Be honest. Most of you would say no. And that's because the internal work needs to be done first. You need to work on yourself internally before anything else. Because everything stems from internal. Everything. Matter of fact, your business is a direct reflection of yourself. So if you yourself internally are not complete, neither will your business. And your prospects can feel that and sense that, and therefore they will not work with you. As a result, you make no money. Therefore, you have to do the internal work first. That is what you have to do first, is the internal work, which tends to be the hardest work. As a matter of fact, I'd argue that once you've worked on yourself, everything else in life becomes easier. Getting girls, making money, running a business, yada, yada, yada. It all becomes easy once you've done the internal work, because that's the hard work. That's the hardest work. And that's also the work that doesn't directly pay off right away, which makes it even harder to do because we don't get instant gratification from doing those things. That's the fundamental difference. So yeah, man, a lot of you are not cut out for this game of entrepreneurship, but so be it. There's winners and losers for a reason. And I hope that strikes a nerve, and I hope that gets you pissed off. And that's my goal. Because people that truly care about you should tell you the truth. And if they don't care about you. Okay? Like if your buddy is about to get fucked over by this girl and you really cared for your buddy, you tell him, right? Same here. I want you to win. That's why I'm going to tell you you're being a lazy fucking piece of shit. And if you don't pick yourself up, you're going to lose. And the thing is, nobody's going to give a fuck. Because nobody's going to wake up and go, this guy he doesn't have a Ferrari. I need to get him one. Like, no. No one's going to do that. No one's going to wake up and just magically start working for you. The only person that will work on your dreams is you. So if you're not waking up and working on them, don't expect them to happen. Okay? So yeah, not everybody's cut out for this, and that's fine. That's why it's called the 1% for a reason. But if you want to be part of it, start acting like it. And start doing things that reflect the fact you actually want to be part of it. And if you don't do the work, fine. I guess you don't want it bad enough. I guess you're fine being broke. I guess you're fine being a fucking nobody loser that nobody respects. Fine by me. Not my fucking life. It's yours. So your choice. Remember though, you owe it to yourself to be great. And if you don't want to owe it to yourself, you owe it to your mom, to your dad, to your brothers, to your sisters, to your cousins, to your uncles, to your past younger self, to your future self, to your future wife, to your future kids, to God. So if you're not going to do it for yourself, at least do it for everybody else around you that has put you in a place where you're able to do this. Because if you're watching this video right now, you have more than enough capabilities and resources to make a bunch of money online and escape the matrix once and for all. And if you still cannot do that, if you still cannot get yourself to move, have fun being average.